We're really excited to welcome in the former Razorback quarterback into the program now. Quinn, thanks for coming on this morning, and really appreciate the invite that you gave us as a radio station this past Saturday night. I want to just talk about the emotional side of you watching that in front of your former teammates and your family, your late mom. Just the documentary, how much emotional effort did that documentary, putting that together, take out of you just in making it?
Well, first of all, I appreciate you coming, man. It was a nice crowd, and I was really humbled by the amount of people that showed up. I mean, there are a lot of different things you could have done that night, and I mean, there were thunderstorms or potential thunderstorms, and good news for us, it really stayed away. But the crowd showed up; they were engaged. But it's a story of football, family, and unconditional love, and that's really kind of the title, and that was kind of what guided us throughout the process. And there's a lot of information about me growing up, and I got a chance to introduce that to, just the state of Arkansas and people and how they impacted my life. And so while the story is about me, but it's also about really my mom and dad and her battle with Alzheimer's, me being a caregiver for her. But we talk a lot of football, too. I mean, Ty, you saw it. I mean, there's a lot of football in there as well. We had a lot of fun with that. But I think we took the opportunity to educate people, inform people, and basically just utilize my story to kind of get it out there. And because a lot of people at that event that night kind of connected, and they didn't know that certain people were going through it. So even though Alzheimer's and dementia is still one of that's ravaging families right now, a lot of people still just don't know what to do, how to handle it. Mm-hmm. And so me going through it as a caregiver, man, is, my mom's the toughest woman you'd ever know, you'd ever see. And to see her succumb to that disease at every stage, every level, was very difficult. And so I don't think we went through this to not help somebody learn how to care for their loved ones a little better, because some people are at the end of it. Dad's not acting right. He's forgetful. It's, many things. Everybody's going to be going through this battle until we can find a cure. So growing up Grovey is, like I said, it's about family. It's about football. It's about unconditional love. And every time I talk about it, man, I tell you what, I get emotional. A piece, and my partner Tracy Anderson and Russell Schaff and Steve Andrews, who was our writer. Mm-hmm. They all put it together, laid it down, and I mean, they were all to produce product people are going to like. And there's going to be different things. I mean, there's going to be football that people are going to like. People are going to really dig into the caregiving piece. People are going to dig into me growing up. So, it turned out well, man. It was good. What did you think about it? I probably shouldn't ask you that on there.
No, I mean, I thought it was great. So I'm sitting next to a couple people I knew at the table, and we were just like, I'd be lying if I told you I cried, but I was about as close as it gets when it comes to that emotional, because as someone that's also lost my mom, it just draws it out. What stood out to me, Quinn, is at the end of the documentary, you had so many teammates that have had to deal with this as well. And we think about Frank Broyles and you having conversations with him, the connection that you guys shared with his wife, Barbara, and just your mom. I thought that was a really kind of telling part of this whole documentary, is that it's like you said, this is a disease that's ravaging people all over the place, and you don't really understand it, but just the connections that you had with teammates, I thought that also stood out as well, man.
Yeah, and they were, that was just another way to bring my teammates into the fold. And, at the end, we talked about people close to the project, and I just reached out to a lot of my teammates and friends and family and just said, hey, if you want to be a part of this, let's get your picture in there along with your loved one. And I thought that was a powerful piece at the end. So, I agree with you there. And it was I'm happy with it, and we get a chance to premiere it it's actually going to premiere on Cox Sports Television August 12th, and then we say the 12th. We're still working on that day. It's either going to be 12th or 13th. But then we'll also, we'll show episode 1 then, and then we'll show episode 2 the following week, like the 19th or the 20th. and then we'll show episode 3 either the 26th or 27th. But there'll be multiple re-airs up until that point. So, yeah, we're excited about it. We got, Bobby Bones was a part of this. He narrated it, and John Daly was our host. So we had 2 heavy hitters. They're going to be doing promotional ads for us, saying make sure you catch Growing Up Grovey. And so we're excited about it, man. It's something. Telling stories is something I like to do, and I'm glad I got a chance to start with me. We learned a lot about how to do it, and so we'll be able to tell more stories as we continue to move forward.
Yeah, Quinn, this is Tommy. I can't wait to see it. Our family was touched by dementia and Alzheimer's, and lost my grandmother to that, and it's hard to watch your heroes go. But to me, my dad had passed away. To watch my uncle and the rest of the family, we did all we could to support. But to him being the primary caregiver, that's the part of it. It's not just your loved one going through it. It's the rest of your family providing care, and you were right there for your mom and understand it as much as anyone can. That's the thing that takes its wear and tear. Some days all you can do is cry, and then some days all you is laugh about something that happened at the care facility that day. It's really there's a lot of ups and downs with it, man, as you know firsthand. So
Tommy, you are so right with that, and the person that is charged with actually being the caregiver, it actually impacts the entire family. There's no doubt about it. The entire family. Like my brother things is, it just took a toll on me. It just absolutely took a toll on me. But I was mad at the world. When my mom was diagnosed with that, I was mad at the world. And I had to refocus because she was always there to protect me, and I needed to be there to protect her. And so I had to change my mindset, and I had to understand how to care for her in a different way. Yeah. And so if we're dealt this card, you know what? I'm going to look at it as an honor and a privilege to make sure that I take care of her and try to make every one of her days, the best day it can possibly be. Yeah. And, when you love somebody, my only goal throughout that whole thing was, how do I take away the pain? And I really thought, and I'm not kidding, I really thought I was going to be the only person in the history of the world that was going to figure out how to make my mom get better. I was spending so much energy on that, thinking I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out. And boy, you get into it and you understand, but it's a diagnosis that happens to everybody, and when it happens to you, I would just say, hey, just enjoy every day you have your loved one. Yeah, love them like crazy, and just figure out how to make their day the best. And that's what I try to do.
And the other thing, when you come to the end of the journey in this, and I'm sure you probably the same way, whatever facility your loved one's been in, whether it's a nursing home or a skilled care facility, the staff there that takes care of your loved one is so critical. And
it is.
You're thankful for them every day, but then you realize when the journey's over how critical and how important they were in the final days for your loved one.
Absolutely, man, and that's one of that you have to do is, because at some point in time, and for most families, look at because it's love on there because it's so much attention. But when we had and one of the things that I did was, it's almost like, it's like when somebody came in that were new or whatever, everybody was taking care of my mom. I said, look, I'm telling you right now, I need you. I put together a video that I gave her for Mother's Day, and she's laughing and she's dancing and she's doing all this kind of stuff. And she's talking. And so I'm like, I need y'all to understand that my mom is a person. She may be sitting here, she may be, struggling, but y'all need to understand that she's a person. And I need y'all to take care of her that way. And I'm going to be here every day. I'm going to be here 24 hours a day. And so rest assured, y'all can get to know me and you need to get to know my mom. So, take it from that standpoint. I just like, because you don't know how those people are going to react in those facilities. You just got to hope that they're going to take care of your loved one. And so, when you put them in there, you got to make sure that you're watching, because nobody's going to care for your mom like you do. Yeah. And my expectation was, hey, because I'm gonna be right behind you all the way.
So Quinn Grovey with us here on the Morning Rush. Quinn, what's your goal? What's your vision? What do you hope comes out of this project you've put together? Is it build awareness? Is it to raise money? What do you ultimately hope to see from the hard work that's went into this project? What's the fruit on the vine for you?
Well, yeah, man, it's all about raising awareness, and I think I had to talk about some tough things that we went through, Mom. That's not always easy to do on camera, but if you're going to tell a story that's going to impact people, you got to be able to do that. So we went through that, but raising awareness and just understanding that, I mean, if you haven't gone through it, that at some point in time you probably will. And just making sure people understand what you can do, because I made so many mistakes at the beginning. I created so much stress and anxiety for my mom at the beginning because I didn't know anything about it. So it's about helping that caregiver understand, really, if I can help caregivers understand how to care for their loved ones in a better and different way, and that's what I'll continue to do until, like I say, a cure is found for this disease.
Quinn, you had a great father, and I know you also touched on him in the documentary and just the legacy that he left with 4 boys and just what he meant to you. But you also had a great coach in Ken Hatfield. How important was it for you to have him in attendance on Saturday night for the premiere of Growing Up Grovey?
It meant everything. And, we talked yesterday about that, and he just called me and just told me how proud he was, and, that my mom and dad were. And he said, I know they're smiling down on you. So, having a guy like Coach Hatfield in my life really, really means so much to me. I came to him at 17, and so he's been a part of my life since that point in time. We've gone through a lot of We've gone through a lot of wins. We've gone through a lot of losses. We've gone through a lot of private conversations, and he's a guy that I always reach out to when I've got job opportunities, just to bounce things off. I used to always reach out to Mom and Dad, and now I can reach out to Coach Hatfield for any guidance, and he's always there. And he told me, when I recruit you for life, and that's always stuck with me. And so I'm thankful for Ken Hatfield and his wife Cindy. They were able to show up, and it meant a lot to see him, my teammates from Arkansas, my teammates from Duncan, and just the entire crowd showing up and enjoying in that moment.
And I think what was telling about this documentary, there was a little football. I know it was more about family, but you talked about how, and your parents shared this same view as well, how you felt like Ken Hatfield recruited not just really good football players, but good men on and off the field. And I wonder, with Sam Pittman and this staff having so many ties to Oklahoma, I mean, you were a highly heralded kid, not just wanted by Oklahoma State, Arkansas, but all over the country. Quinn, what is the key for Sam Pittman to go into Oklahoma where the Sooners dominate and get high-profile guys like you were back in the day?
Well, I mean, it's just the kind of guy that he is. I mean, he's very similar to Coach Hatfield in his approach and the way he treats people. And so he'll always be a great recruiter. And him having that Oklahoma background as well is going to help. Him being at the University of Arkansas with everything we have going on here, the way the arrow's pointing up, yeah, he'll be able to go get kids. I mean, Sam Pittman, and I used to say this about Barry Switzer as well. Sam Pittman, he can recruit a shark to live on dry land, and that's a tough thing to do. So, just the way he treats people, the way he treats the families, he'll be fine. He'll be able to go anywhere, not just Oklahoma, but Oklahoma will be an area that I'm sure that he'll continue to try to get players to come on over and make this program as good as it needs to be.
Quinn, I know that you're really excited about Traylon Burks, and it's funny listening to you and Z. You were kind of more angry at the fact that Athlon had him as a second team.
Crazy.
So that was a great podcast y'all had that day. But he's listed as another All-American. This from the Pro Football Network. What is his ceiling? And you had some pretty good wide receivers that you played with. Quinn, what do you anticipate Traylon Burks' ceiling being in his junior year, which could potentially be his final year in a Razorback uniform?
Yeah, he's nasty, man. He is. I mean, he's big, he's strong, he's physical, he's smart. He can run every route on the route tree. He's very good with the ball in his hand after the catch. You can put him in at wide receiver. Or at running back. He can do so many different things, and that's what you're going to have to do. And I know Kendall Browse is a very good offensive coordinator. So I think losing Mike Woods hurts No, there's no doubt about it. But there's some other receivers in there that are going to have to step up. Davion Warren and those guys will have to step up. But Traylon Burks is one of the best receivers in the country. And what he's going to really have to do now, I call him a coverage dictator. And wherever he's at, that's where the coverage is going to roll to. And Kendall Browse will be looking for ways to scheme him over, putting him in the slot and making it hard to double team. So he caught 51 balls last year for 820 yards and 7 touchdowns. You know, you'd like to see him get up to like 70, 75. But he's going to have to do that in double coverage situations because Mike Woods isn't over there right now unless somebody else steps up. So his mindset is going to have to be, if I'm going to be a number one guy, I'm going to have to find out how to beat double coverage because he's going to see that time and time again. And then when he sees a guy that's standing over him one-on-one, he just needs to start laughing because I know one of you guys are not going to be able to deal with me. So that'll be the thing that Traylon Burks will have to do. And I know he's working on that, and he's going to see a lot of doubles. And he's going to have to be able to beat doubles, and he can beat doubles. And if he can do that, Arkansas's offense is going to be pretty explosive with him and KJ and Traylon Smith.
Well, Quinn, we're about a month from the date you said you're going to premiere the series on Cox Sports Television. We're about 3 weeks away from practice beginning. So why don't we catch up when you nail down that premiere date and promote that again, let the audience know, and then we'll have about a week of practice under our belt as well. We can talk about that.
Right. Let's do it, fellas. I appreciate you guys.
All right, sounds good.
That is Quinn Grovey, former Razorback
Great Quinn
quarterback.
Grovey, yeah.
The great Quinn Grovey. And again,